Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are watching in the world. This is the Celestial Muse for this week. I'm recording this on Tuesday, but the action I'm going to talk about starts from today until the weekend. So. I have labeled this up as direct, deep, driven, dark, discerning. That's the theme this week. The themes this week. I love this time of the year. From a seasonal point of view, from a month and a lunar cycle perspective, and then where the sun is. The sun is about to move into Scorpio, so I'm definitely talking about that today. And we've got some other players in the mix as well. So as always, I'm going to give you a run through the Celestial Muse for the week ahead, and in particular, how you can use those insights for your ultimate success. How you are able to optimize your performance, whether that's a business or a career focus or a particular project, something that you're wishing to bring into your life, or whatever that is. This will apply to you. I mostly support women in business, but it is broader than that, and you can take these themes in any which way that serves you. So don't do predictive astrology. And in fact, astrology can't really predict the future anyway, because we've always got human free will in the mix. But what I do, or how I help you, is to understand the energy and how you can manage, be aware of your own energy. It's like emotional intelligence, but a whole other level. And how you then can use that insight and intel to best serve your purpose. And when I talk about your passion and your purpose, it's about living a life that's true to you, and therefore you will get your ultimate success. You're not going to get your ultimate success if you're doing something that isn't your true passion. But then equally, we need a purpose to be motivated. We need a purpose to feel good. We have a purpose, a soul calling. I talk a lot about that with my clients. And then standing in your power. So it's not a power to wield over others. It's about you shining your brightest. And I love to talk about you being the lighthouse with your beam, helping other people. So you shining on your full beam, your brightness, instead of being in the lifeboats trying to find people in the dark. Both come from a very honourable and serving perspective, but one is going to have more impact. So you choose. So let's dive in. So direct, deep, driven, dark, discerning. Oh, it has to be Scorpio season. We have to have some Pluto in the mix. We have to have some Mars in the mix with all of that going on. And yes, we do. And so let's talk about what's happening today in terms of the aspects. Aspects are the angles of which different planets, asteroids, celestial bodies are in the skies above us. And a bit like how I explain it out in a nightclub, lots of people, lots of bodies in the room. But if you catch someone's eye, that's like an aspect, a celestial aspect. There's a connection from that point. And depending on how strong that connection is down to the energy and the angle of how you see that. So I talk about that as a metaphor quite a lot. I talk about journeys and traveling. It's all about an adventure. It's all about exploration. And of course, finding your true north. That's a concept. Those are the sort of ways of which I like to illustrate what we're talking about. So we've got in that club, we've got locked on. We've got Mercury in a supportive, kind of in an open, nurturing, encouraging, facilitating kind of connection with Saturn. Mercury is all about cognition and communication and thinking and knowing and innovation, intelligence, cognitive intelligence. And Saturn is about its karma. It is, in terms of karma with a K, not karma, calmer. It is very much about all the lessons you've had to date. It's very much about lessons learned, all for your future good, all for your highest good. There's a time element to it, Father Time. Saturn gets a nickname for. And so when those two are in a supportive angle to each other, what that's definitely speaking to is then that kind of a knowing, a wisdom, a revelation, a aha moment that comes from those lessons learned. That's like Mercury and Saturn piece working really well together. But also from an expression point of view, it's very supporting you to achieve you through your own messaging, through your own expression, how that is serving your purpose that you're here for, and everything that's brought you to this point. So, like I said, beautifully strong and encouraging, and it's an open, I said nurturing, encouraging, facilitative type of energy between those two players. And it's kind of like a there's a method, a mythology to it with Saturn in the mix, and so it could feel not coming in hot and fast. It's not that kind of energy. It's much more methodical, planful, iterative. So from a business perspective, it's beautiful energy for applying this to your business, the projects that you've got going, that thing that you're trying to achieve, or how you want to up your own game. Very much about what are the lessons that you've been shown recently? How can you ground them in? How can you implement them? How can you take iterative steps to reach that goal? You'll get some clarity on that. And if it's not coming through very, very clear right now, take the time to lean into it, take the time to journal on it, think about it, have a discussion with the team, whatever it is that you do, how you get to your own aha moments, how do you get a breakthrough cognitively or communicatively, how you're wanting to express something. What are the steps that you can take people through to get to that point? That's of the energy. We've got slightly more less supportive aspect between the Sun and Pluto. Sun's all about expression, that fullest spotlight on you and how you show up in the world. And when it's in a not so square is like square on, and squaring up to that's that there's an edge, there's an energy to that you can feel just by saying squaring up to. You get the vibe. So the Sun is squaring off with Pluto, which is all about transformations. There's some kind of tension, there's some kind of conflict, there's something here that's a kind of a push and pull about you expressing yourself and how you are showing up for the transformation that you need, that next change, that next growth, that next evolution of you. And with the square, it might not be particularly easy. Easeful, it wouldn't be easeful. There's a little bit of a harsh reality, a mirror being shown up to you. It's that kind of vibe. It's like, well, this is what you need to be doing, and are you doing it? It's that. Pluto is god of the underworld. We're going to talk a bit more about that in a minute. Nothing. The Sun is all glory and bright and explicitly open, explicitly out there, obviously. But the underworld, it's there, and then it has its cycle. The underworld is always there, and the underworld is in those depths. It knows no depths. It will take you to where you need to go. Kind of phoenix energy, death for rebirth, and very much. There's no shame. It's seen it all before. The underworld, God knows this stuff and knows true you, knows all your secrets. And it's when you have that conflict between those two energies, it's very much, what is it that you're not showing? Because whatever it is that you're not showing isn't helping you. It would help you if you did. And with that, we've got some other mixing, and if that's from a need for something to heal, then we've got the Sun in a less confrontational, but not amazingly supportive in terms of what we were talking about, not that nurturing kind of energy. Opposite our wounded healer. So again, there's a spotlight on what it is that do you need to heal, what it is that, that might be that, what is the grit in that wound that you need to wash out for it to heal properly. You can rip off the bandage, rip off the plaster, really wash it out for it to then heal at its best. That's kind of that vibe that we've got going on. So for that to happen, you need to be aware. The sun is awareness. And so some healing around, or some, working through something that's possibly caused you pain in the past. It's part of the transformation, part of what you need to stop hiding, part of how you step into your light. So from a performance perspective, how are you holding yourself back? What are you holding on to from, a bad experience? I had a bad experience. What is that bad experience that you had that that's kind of not being cleaned out? If it's a wound, it's not being cleaned out. How do you go about doing that? Then let's go back to some nice supportive energy. I mean, there's no such thing as bad energy, but in terms of the supportive energy, towards the end of in a couple of days' time, we have Mars in a super supportive aspect with Uranus. So we've got drive, and we've got passion, and we've got that relentless, ferocious momentum energy from Mars, that battle warrior energy, go, 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 with all the revelation and all the change and potentially rebel energy as well coming through. So this is all for, how you feel more alive, and where could you go? There's an excitement, a palpable, tangible excitement about where you could be going. Applying that to your business, applying that to your career, applying that to the project, applying it to the thing, applying it to you and your performance, your success. What are you excited for? What energy can you feel surging through you? That's probably a bit different. I mean, it might be the starting of something new. I mean, that kind of Uranus is revelatory. It definitely a revolution, not necessarily evolution. We'll leave that to Pluto. But it's also kind of a real shock to the system change, a radical transformation, radical. So, is this the time for you to then change direction very quickly, or to put a lot of energy into something that's been just meandering around? Now we're gonna have some direction, now we're gonna have some focus, we're gonna have some Mars energy to it, and we can feel it. Let's harness it and have the power behind it. So very visionary, breakthrough, but with focus. Beautiful for anything that you're planning for Q4. Would work with that. And we've got Jupiter, and again, a very supportive, beautifully supportive alignment aspect with, again, the Chiron that we mentioned. So the sun is opposite Chiron. So that's very much giving you the awareness of where the problem might be in terms of a previous wound, a previous experience, your business trauma. If you're a business owner and maybe something's not gone right for you, and it's kind of like, oh, do I need to do that thing? Or how am I going to summon up that energy to launch again, or to do the thing you've been putting off? And there's an awareness on that. You know that's happening. But then we've got Jupiter supporting that healing, and it's like, you can go bigger than you've ever gone before. You can use the learning, take away some of that karmic learning from Saturn, Mercury, all those insights and aha moments that you're having. How can you then weave that together, then help you really expand and be bigger than you've ever been before? So from a journaling perspective, a reflective practice perspective, a signposting perspective, what are the lessons? What are the hurts and the bad experience? What is that teaching you? What is that telling you? How is that guiding or nudging you? What does that mean for what you can do this week? Be open, feel it. You'll probably feel it, but it's not to shut it off. That revelation that you're going to get with that Uranus in a sextile with Mars in a sextile with Uranus is, there's vibrancy, there's power, there's fire, there's energy, there's drive, momentum. So how would you use that best, considering everything to be, to have that expansive angle, and especially everything that you want to heal, you want to move forward from. Wonderful, wonderful energy for that. So innovation, bold, dynamicism, vibrant, powerful. So that's our direct, and that's our driven. But let's weave in some of the deep, dark, and discerning Ds from the title of this week's Celestial Muse. And it's got an awful lot to do with the sun moving into Scorpio. So Scorpio, let's talk about this, the start of the season that's happening today and tomorrow. So still waters run deep is one of the ways that I sum up Scorpio energy. It's that dark night. It's that seeing the body of water, or even in daylight. It's that water that's inky black, because it's so deep, very still, very quiet. Scorpio is a yin energy, so very withheld, but internal, introverted energy. It likes intimate relationships versus an array. So it's definitely depth, not breadth. That's definitely Scorpio energy. It's a water sign, so it's very flow and creative, emotional. Oh my gosh, Scorpio can feel, and they feel deep. Everything else I've just said, they feel deep. And then in spiritual and mystical, that's part of the gift. But it's a fixed sign. So, if there's a shadow side to it, then it's definitely going to be more stubborn, can be sharp. That's where the direct comes from. There's no point flowering anything up. It's very discerning. It's that sting of the tail, straight to the point, no messing. So that directness can sometimes, it's to the point. Let's just say that quite literally, to the point. And definitely with the occult and thinner veils. And I love it from a timing perspective because it is hot off the press of eclipse season. So there's kind of a vibe of, that spirituality, or that thing of it, being able to see something more. Maybe if you're not particularly esoteric, particularly spiritual, although I'm sure you're watching this if you weren't, but for those that, if you've got team members that aren't, it's understanding that you can see something more, you just know something better. What I mean by greater than the sum of the parts. It's all of the bits in between that you just understand at a deeper level. That's what I mean by the thinner veils. If you're spiritual, then it's just being much more up close and personal, intimate with all things spiritual. But that's definitely a gift of Scorpio season. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. So again, we've got directness, we've got that drive that comes from Mars, and then we've got the death and rebirth. We've got the darkness, we've got the underworld, we've got the depth, all that coming through. So it's a depth of perception as well. I would say, that the whole being able to see, linked to that veil piece I was talking about. There's no messing. You can see it. So Scorpio, that dark, deep water. That's very still. But that's Scorpio's, that's playground. So that absolutely can see all the way through. And that depth of perception, they can see through you, they can see through the app, they can see through the BS. There's that's why the direct. That's the vibe of the season. Like I said, but emotional as well, and they're going to feel it. Very passionate. It's potent. All good things come in small bottles. Like poison or perfume, they come in small bottles, and that's kind of what we've got here. There's potency in abundance. Where does that leave you for the rest of the season when it comes to your business and your performance, your success, what it is that you're trying to achieve? Definitely take a look into those still dark waters. What is it that is hidden for you? What is in the dark and what is in the depths? What is waiting to break the surface? That could be an idea, it could be something creative. I mean, that's coming through as well very, very strongly. It's what kind of truth, that directness, no more time for BS, no more time for hiding. What is that that wants to break through, come up for you? How does that look in terms of your business? What does it look like in terms of business activity or business development? And very much, where are you being guided to know something? And you might, it's leaning into the intuition of it all, because that's part and parcel of what we're talking about here. But it's when you have a knowing, and might feel it, like bone deep knowing, is to trust that. So listen to your intuition. It will be louder this season, and especially if it is in light of sort of that karma and where you're headed to. That's definitely coming through, and very much the kind of the selection, the focus piece. You'll have a knowing of what you need or want to do, and have faith in what's coming through for you. Have faith in what you're being guided to do. Have faith and self-trust in your knowing, because the breadcrumb trail here is that knowing is coming from something, that knowing is coming from deep within you, and there's an honesty and an integrity to that. So it's that discerning point. It's like the no time for the BS, and that's including your own excuses. That's including you hiding from your own power. Power is a big theme for Scorpio, because of Pluto and Mars in the mix. But it's very much about how you're grappling with your own power. And I think there's a quote, I'm probably not going to do it justice. There's a quote around that we're more scared of our untapped power than actually who there's an element of, what if I rip that bandage off, or really peer into those shadows, what am I going to find? And it's more about the strength inside that we're more frightened of. So I'm going to leave you with that. That's the biggest message I'm going to leave you with, in terms of what is it that you, up till now, and maybe still right now, are afraid to see in yourself when it comes to you living your biggest, most expansive, boldest, most beautiful, brightest life. See with that. Take care of you and have a brilliant and bold week. Take care of you.